plus even under your posts when you announced the fight, people are upset because they feel like Khamzat withdrew out of the fight with you before, right? You obviously fought Ikram Aliskerov on short notice, and they feel like you should be fighting further up the card, closer to the title, and that Khamzat doesn't necessarily earn this or like deserve this, or however you want to describe it. Not saying that that's how I feel, but that's the overwhelming sentiment that I feel. So I got to ask you, why take this fight, and what do you have to say about all those comments?
I guess that's not how the business works, in a way. It's, unfortunately, like the business isn't completely run on merit. And a lot of it is, but, like there are a lot of times and moments when it's just not. Chimaev is a hard fight. He's obviously a big draw, especially over there in Abu Dhabi. He's done the welterweight thing. He's done the middleweight thing. So he's a draw. And I think the UFC, story-wise, wants to see Chimaev get, a shot at the champion or whatever. They want to see Chimaev like up the top of the ladder. They want to see him in that picture. But I love disrupting their plans. I love derailing their stories. And I that's why I took the fight. I asked for the fight. It wasn't offered to me. I asked for straight after the last fight. I was like, I saw that there was an Abu Dhabi card in October. Timeline fits perfectly. And I was like, I'll fight Chimaev again. Like, let's do it again. Just make sure he turns up. Because I look forward to hard fights. I look forward to these fights. And I know that if I beat Chimaev, there is nothing in my way to getting my belt back. And Chimaev, as dangerous as he is, I don't go into these fights thinking about what I have to lose. Yeah, like I don't like, much like how I took the fight with Ikram. I don't look at the fights and think, oh man, it's too big of a risk. Every fight's a risk. Yeah, and I only go into fights because I have the confidence I'm going to beat and smash whoever's ever in front of me. Yeah, and that doesn't change with Chimaev. So I'm going to get in there in October and I'm going to put the 1-2 how do you do on him, and then worry about a title shot after that. It's a hard fight. It's one that, regardless, the camp will make me better. The fight will make me better. And like just on like a side note, it's in Abu Dhabi. So I've literally just come back from that trip. I've got everything laid out. We've already called the hotel that I stayed at before. Like everything is just kosher. It's it's almost like we're going back to a home base. We've got it all sorted out. So I like fighting in the Middle East. I do. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. And what a way to wrap up the year. I fight in October. Christmas is coming to Bobby, right? I'll be able to feed my face at the end of the year. So yeah.
And you've talked about this, and also Dana White has talked about this, that you can't just let opportunities pass you by in the UFC. Oftentimes, sitting and waiting for a fight to happen doesn't necessarily work out in your favor. And I texted you about this. It was, I think, the pay-per-view after the one that you fought Ikram on. Dana White was singing your praises for actually taking on all comers. Like, there are other fighters that talk about it and they say they will take on anyone and fight anyone, but not necessarily do that. Whereas with you, you've proven that, accepting the Khamzat fight when no one wanted to fight him, accepting the Ikram fight on short notice when Khamzat pulled out. And now, I didn't know this, you asking again to fight Khamzat. Because if you don't do that, like the division's just going to pass you by.
Yeah, exactly. We're in the fight game. It's like, dudes that wait, it's like, I think to myself, you must be flush with cash, right? Because how are you earning a living? Like, dudes working at Costco on the weekends, like until the next fight comes through. It's like, this is what we do. This is the game we're in. And objectively, my entire drive for my career is to be the best version of myself, to truly draw the best out of myself. And I feel, I believe, I know that in doing that, I'll be the champion. So I know that every fight tests me. Every fight, every camp pushes me to breaking levels. Every pre-fight pressure when I'm standing behind the back curtains and I'm hating everything that I'm doing, and I question myself why the hell I'm here every single time. Yeah, I know it'll make me better. This will put me in a prime position to to get that gold back.
And also after it, there can't not be exciting fights at this card. And the main event, especially, Ilia Topuria against Max Holloway. What do you think of this?
Mate, that is going to be amazing. Like, obviously, I think closer to the fight, we're going to do actual... I don't know. We'll just do it now. Topuria,
yeah, we'll do it again anyway. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, Topuria and Holloway, mate. I don't think there's a single fight I've seen of Holloway's that I haven't been happy with. And Topuria, after his last... he's in the exact same boat. He's a very exciting fighter. I love the way he brings himself into a fight. You're kind of always waiting for him to land that shot, to land that, like he just looks so effective when he does strike or grapple or wrestle. I just like the way he works. And to put them together is just a recipe for a fireworks of a fight.
Hell yeah.
Obviously, Holloway brings a lot of things to the table that a lot of people haven't dealt with, such as his rangy arms, his boxing, his experience, and his cardio. How does Topuria handle that? We're going to have to wait and see. Topuria is really good at pocket fighting, at using like aggressive slips to hurt his opponents to get into that grappling range. And yeah, man, I'm just so excited.
Especially after, obviously, Max Holloway, after knocking out Justin Gaethje, from memory, it was literally the last second at UFC 300. He's gone to a different level. He was popular before, obviously, but he's gone to a different level of stardom now. He's got the BMF title. That's not on the line, but still people love him at the moment. He's riding high. He probably could have gotten a title opportunity in either division, but he's going to be fighting Ilia Topuria. I cannot wait to see how he does, but it feels like, I haven't looked at the odds yet, but I don't know if people are underestimating Ilia Topuria a little bit because of what Max did against Justin Gaethje, which was phenomenal. But let's remember Ilia Topuria knocking out Volkanovski, the way he cut off that cage, the way he dropped him cold. Yes, that was a Volk that obviously just got knocked out against Makhachev. But where are you leaning towards who's going to win this? Because I can see both sides. Max Holloway, like that dude has a chin of granite. If there was a fighter that Ilia Topuria might not knock out, it could be Max Holloway. Whereas on the other hand, Ilia Topuria has a fantastic grappling game as well. There are so many dynamics. Who are you leaning towards in this fight?
You know why I think a lot of people are leaning towards Holloway is because, honest to God, Holloway's only obstacle in his entire career has been Alex Volkanovski.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only blemish, like, more or less, on his career in like the last decade. And every fight before and after really hasn't been that close. It's been kind of like a one-sided affair.
Yeah.
So I think just because of tenure and because of just the way he operates, and it's not to say like before Volk, he was good. After Volk, he's better, I feel. And I would have to say I'm leaning towards Holloway.
Yeah.
But in saying that, like, I want to see Topuria run his story. You know, like I like seeing like his skill level is so high.
Yeah.
I think it's super underrated right now. Maybe it's just because of exposure and because he hasn't been in as many headlines as Holloway has because he hasn't, done the work on paper just yet. But yeah, I would have gun to my head, have to lean towards Holloway, but wait and see. Like Volk, I was leaning towards Volk before his last one as well, right?
Yeah. I think I am leaning towards Topuria, but it is very, very close, and my opinion might change on that. Obviously, let us know what you think in the comments below. I know a lot of people might roast me for leaning towards Topuria, but we can't just disregard what he did against Volkanovski.
And styles make fights.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Like, for whatever reason, Volk was the kryptonite to Holloway.
Yeah.
But Holloway is the kryptonite to just about everybody else.
Yeah.
So, and then Topuria beat Volk. So, yeah, how does this work out? I don't know.
Absolutely.